Our subject today is to help you understand why you are here on earth so that you can free yourself from compulsory future incarnations. Reincarnation is not compulsory unless you make it so. Life is a vast school. There is a lesson to be learned in everything. But just as naughty boys in school engage in try to distract the other children, pay no attention to the teacher and then fail to graduate and have to take the same class again, so it is with most people. Life is teaching you all the time you are a bad student if you don't pay attention. Think about that. It is the sum of what I want to tell you. Bad boys who fail their exams have to return again and again in shame to confront the same lessons. Good students, however, develop into wise men. Christ, Krishna, Buddha, and all the enlightened ones finished their training, graduated with honors, and went back to God. They don't have to come to this school of life anymore unless of their own free will they return again as teachers, saviors to help others. Reincarnation means that you do not finish your schooling, you have yet to pass in all the grades of physical, mental, and spiritual unfoldment, which will earn for you a diploma of perfection and freedom. What is the cause of failure? Primarily, we do not understand why we are here. Most people think life is just for acquiring necessities and wants, seeking pleasure and human love, and surrendering at last to the grave. Human beings start life programmed with set tendencies and unfulfilled desires from the past. Then, with their little remaining free will, they imitate each other's desires and actions. If they associate with businessmen, they want to be like them. If they are with artists, art becomes everything. God meant us to be practical in this world. He has given us hunger that has to be satisfied, but to go after only food and shelter, money and possessions is to forget the true source of happiness. Satisfy your needs, pursue your worthwhile goals in life, but give yourself to God first. Under His wise and loving guidance, your education will be entrusted to Him. Unfulfilled desires are the root cause of reincarnation. You don't have to be a king in order to have complete fulfillment, nor do you end desires by giving up everything and becoming a poor man. You have your own self-created destiny with its lessons to be learned, and you must play well that part for which you were sent here. If everybody on the stage wants to be a king or queen, there will be no play. An actor with even a minor part can ruin the entire production by a poor performance. Every role is important. Everyone should interact harmoniously for the success of the play. The Lord has been trying to make a good drama out of His creation, but I'm afraid that most actors have bungled it. The idea is to do your best but to be objective, non-attached. Pay attention to the studies life places before you. They contain the lessons you must learn. Don't play at random and create new desires, endless desires. The Hindu scriptures say that it takes about 8 million incarnations before one becomes a human being. And now, after gaining a human form, how can you waste so much time on things that are fruitless? Time is so precious. At long last, your soul has a vehicle capable of the full expression of divinity, of manifesting the image of God in which you are made. Every morning ask yourself, what do I want? Nothing. Nothing but you, Lord. If you want to take me from this world now, I am ready to go. That is the right attitude. But it is not easy to hold on to it because 1,000 temptations will come in your path to see if you have finished your desires. Once, when talking to Amelita Gallicurci, the famous operatic prima donna who had such an angelic voice, I asked her, "Have you finished your desires?" She replied, "Of course." I continued about other things and then suddenly asked her, "What are your feelings about music?" I love it, she said. I want to sing in heaven. Then you will have to come back to earth again, I replied. That desire is not finished. Then she understood. When I started on the path to God, my family tried to entrust me in other things. An important position was offered to me, and I prayed to God for guidance. He said, "What do you want with it? Go after supreme happiness first." My cousin Prabhas Chandra Ghosh got my job and also my wife to be. Through God's grace, I was free. When desires come, be guided by wisdom, not by whim or stubbornness. If you can control your senses and keep your mind with God, you will be free. But if on the last day, when the time comes to go to the Heavenly Father, the angels say, "Do you like strawberry shortcake?" and you answer, "Oh, yum yum," they will tell you, then you have to go back to America. Or they may ask you, "Do you like curry?" "Yes, Lord." Then go back to India. You can't stay with the Father because your earthly desires are not finished. The divine man enjoys everything but is not bound by anything. He appreciates the use of the objects in God's creation, but when he is through with them, he is through. Do not harbor traces of desire. Live in this world working only to fulfill God's will. Tell him, "I did not ask for this body, but you gave it to me, so we'll look after it and see to its needs and use it as an instrument to serve your will on earth." When you are impersonal with the body in this way, you become personal with God. I want you all to get to that state, but it will not come by reading books, nor if you fritter away your time in diversions. Meditate, be steeped in meditation. This morning I hardly remembered sleeping last night, and when I lifted my eyes upward, they became fixed in the state of samadhi. The world, like an ocean, was moving in me. I felt the whole universe throbbing within myself. Learn the lesson that you are not a man nor a woman, but a soul made in the image of God. Otherwise, God will have to send you here again and again until you outgrow your ignorance and realize your true self. Become so conscious of God that you know He is the only reality. The more you meditate, the more that thought will be paramount. Try as it may, the world will not be able to take that consciousness away from you. When I started my search for God, I shunned everything that took my mind from Him as though it were poison to me. I even avoided too much contact with people who were not of like mind because I did not want to be influenced by them. Milk will not float on water, it will mix and become diluted. But when milk is churned into butter, the butter can float on water. Similarly, as a serious seeker, make firm your consciousness in God. Free yourself first. Then no one will be able to exert any wrong influence on you. You will change them. Otherwise, if your will is weak and somebody suggests some nice temptation to you, you will run after it. But when you are convinced that true happiness is within yourself in your relationship with God, then nobody can pull you away from that. God is for all who will seek Him. Give your nights to Him. The days belong to the devil because he keeps us busy and embroiled in the relativities and delusions of this existence. But if you give your nights to God and strive in the daytime to remember Him in the midst of your activities, you will be drunk with Him all the time. The divine man is always intoxicated with the Lord. Work doesn't take consciousness away from Him, it is the greatest pleasure. I have hardly even been sleeping these days. I feel the greatest joy, the greatest blessing of God I ever had. That is what I live for, to be with Him and to work out His wishes. On these two things my life revolves. Please like the video, subscribe the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Hare Krishna.